you the scout that everyone is spamming in chat? Are you the
No,
scout that everyone's talking about?
no. Okay, I'll quickly run it down. This is the best community in the world. You're talking to them right now. We're going to bring in one of the best players from the community as well. This is simply Victor. I'm just a guy who really talks to the players and try to speak to the community, you know? But Scout is coming in very soon, and I've got some juicy questions that we collected today during the Instagram stories.
Yeah, so tell us a quick
Fantastic.
bit about where those questions came from.
Yeah. So I'm just seeing chat now. What a crazy... I see Victor Sexy
Chat
Boy.
is
That is a very good one.
spamming Victor OP.
Yeah, OP stands for OnePlus. It's our favorite brand in the community. We work really hard on that one, and they make great phones that you can play PUBG on. So super happy to see that I managed to make that happen. We today went live on the Instagram stories. We have been collecting questions. I think I was sent around 10,000 questions or something like that. It's insane. Wherever Scout goes, his actual community goes crazy, and they just send questions. And they're so fun as well. Some of them absolutely go crazy. I think we've had 700 of them asked about the love story between Scout and Elgato. So we'll see if there is some juicy on that one. We'll see what happens. Good stuff, though. Good stuff.
That's sick. Yeah, no, it's really great to see this community hopping off in chat and have you guys here. It's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Victor,
without
really
further
quickly,
ado,
here we go.
I think we should just bring him in, no? Because chat is asking for it. Everyone wants to
I'm
see
asking
him,
for
so
it.
he's ready. I'm ready. Victor's ready. Let's do it. Let's bring in Scout. Yo! What's up, Scout?
Hello, everyone.
Hey!
Hi, everyone, guys.
Welcome.
Yeah, hi, everyone.
How are
Good
you?
to have you on.
Yeah, I'm good.
Nice.
How was the games today? The first things. I think we got what did we do? Average 5th maybe today? How did you feel?
Yeah, it was pretty rough day, but it was pretty good. Yeah.
We'll keep climbing and get to the top positions for sure. You're seeing the chat right now. Everyone is literally scouting Scout everywhere. How does that make you feel? Is it still a weird feeling for you? Like when you go in chats and stuff and you just see your name being shouted out everywhere?
Now I'm kind of used to it right now because it's been a long time with these things. So yeah, I'm kind of used to this.
Yeah, I mean, we had that event. Do you remember? I think that was a few months ago when you did meetup. Let's do a quick meetup in Mumbai. I think that was it. And it was how many people did you think was going to show up?
To be honest, I thought around 400 to 500 people, but it was more than 600 people at midnight. So it was crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I think. Phil, you're absolutely baffled, right?
I mean, this is that's a crazy number of people to turn up, which is just awesome. And then even just seeing we were live about a minute and chat was already spamming Scout OP, Scout OP, Scout OP, Scout OP. So really, really cool to see and cool to be a part of.
You guys are so cool, chat.
Scout.
Yeah, shout out to chat.
I assume
always.
Scout, I'm assuming Victor told you, but we did a little shout out today for questions for you from the community. And brace yourself because we got some pretty heavy hitting questions that we're going to cover now. And I think I'm going to take the first of those questions. And Victor, if you want to jump in and give us a bit more context on any of these or follow up, that'd be great because obviously you have really good insight to the scene. But Scout, first question that we got in today on Instagram. A lot of people have asked about the conversations you had to have with your parents when PUBG Mobile became a massive thing in India, and also later when Fnatic approached you. What were their reactions when you told them you wanted to fully focus on a gaming career?
I was a professional soccer player before, so I was in my recovery time. I had an injury, so at that time I was playing PUBG Mobile for just for fun and just with my school friends. Then later I started following some tournaments in different countries. So slowly I started playing tournaments in India. So I never knew a thing that I would get a chance to play for Fnatic, to be honest, because I used to play Counter Strike and I used to learn by seeing Fnatic and many other big teams out there. So slowly I started entering into the pro scenes, and the second I got to know, okay, we are getting scouted for Fnatic, so let's give our best. And at the start, yes, my parents were like, dude, you need to go and study, not just play games. Because in India, esports is not that big. So my parents
Mm.
came to know about esports later, but yes, now they are very, very supportive towards me and towards my game though.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
great to hear.
I
I
think
think.
that's. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead, Victor.
No, I think that's one of those things where we are so in our world where we look at different teams and different games all the time. But Scout can easily talk more on this. But I think that PUBG completely changed what it means to try to become a professional gamer in India. Would you agree, Scout?
Yeah, it's like nowadays people know what esports is and what a professional gamer stands for. Before, like if you take like 1 year before, people had no clue and no idea about esports and a professional gamer.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, I've got the second question here, Scout. Who were you in school? The sports guy? I mean, you mentioned that you played soccer. Were you the funny
Yeah.
guy, the shy one? People want to tell, or people want you to know what it was like for you back in the school years. And do you have any good memories from that time?
To be honest, I was the backbenchers and the sports guy. So the combination was good and bad at the same time.
That's really good.
So
Do you have any good memories from that time? Do you remember, like, when you went to school? Was it something you enjoyed? Was it? Did you have a favorite subject?
yes, physical sports. We used to bunk classes a lot. We used to bunk classes
Classic.
a lot and play soccer outside. Yeah, it's just a normal, normal teen in a school, just trying to avoid the subjects and the periods and go to play on the ground and stuff.
Was it football from the beginning?
Yeah, it was soccer, and yes, I used to play Counter Strike in my computer classes. And that got me
Right
into
through.
trouble a lot of times.
So you were the sporty guy at school. Like, do you still get a chance to go outside, go for a run, kick the ball around, stay fit, or is it just all gaming nowadays?
No, it's now all gaming. Yeah, but I would love to give time to soccer a lot because yeah, soccer has been a part of my life from the beginning.
Nice.
I think it was one of the early things we connected over as well. Like we had. I think we both started speaking about Real Madrid and then finding out about who your inspiration was, and that was kind of like I knew like this guy's good. This is a good guy.
Yeah, I
I
was
think that
going
was
to ask, in soccer, like who do you follow? Who do you look up to within the soccer world?
Ronaldo, Ronaldo from the start.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's become
nice.
all. He's even your Instagram bio. I think it's in there. One of his quotes.
yeah, yeah.
Really?
Yes,
That's really good.
yeah. I've been
Well,
following him
we
for like long time.
we have another question from our pick of 10, which actually follows on really nicely from talking about you in the school days. Is Tanmay Singh and Scout the same, or do you think Scout is different in some ways to Tanmay?
Yeah, to be honest, they are different completely because Scout is a guy who just needs to win, nothing else. He needs to become better from the one he was last day. And Tanmay is a guy who is like chilling around. He needs to enjoy his life, travel and have fun, and have a normal life.
Are they hard
That's
to
really
combine the two?
Yeah, it's hard to combine because if I become Tanmay while I'm being Scout, then I won't be that competitive and I will lose the hunger to win.
I hear you.
And how do
Cool.
you
The next.
like get into that mindset?
Yeah, for me, it's like the second I have my profession, that's PUBG, in my hands, then I'm like, okay, let's get focused. Let's forget everything what's going on around the world. Let's just focus on the game. And once the game is done, like not just a single game, but the series of the game. Once it's done, yeah, okay, I'm out. Now I can chill out and stuff.
Cool.
Cool. Well, the next question I have for you is actually about the game. What do you think is one of the most underrated weapons or items in PUBG Mobile right now?
Uh, I think SMGs are one of the quite underrated weapons out there because people prefer snipers and AR, but sometimes SMGs like overshadow all of those.
I think it also has a very
there...
it's like. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Victor.
Yeah, I was still thinking with the SMG thing, you often take for granted that the ARs and the snipers are the long range weapons, and it's true, but it's sometimes surprising what the pro players can do with like an SMG on quite long range. Like in close combats, it's obviously good, but sometimes you're just so impressed by how well they do with an SMG at quite medium range.
Yeah, obviously, because like PUBG Mobile, we have aim assist in there. So obviously, like any weapon what you can spray gets the aim assist while you spraying. So any weapon at the long range is as deadly as it is at the close range.
Chat, don't be afraid to put in what you think is the most underrated weapon or item in the game. Be very interested to see that. And also, maybe if we have time, we'll pull one question from chat for Scout. So drop them in. I've got another question from our Instagram call out. With fame comes many perks, but also many challenges. What has changed the most since you blew up on the scene in PUBG?
The most thing that affected me was my personal life, which I learned later how to handle it. Because once you become famous, you cannot have your personal life publicly because every single guy out there has their own opinion about what you do in your personal life. So it's better to keep your personal and professional life completely different, far apart from each other, as much as you can. So yes, that's what I learned from my past experiences.
Was there a particular moment that really struck you where you noticed that difference, where you realized you had to be a bit more private, or is it just a gradual thing that happened over time?
No, it was a specific event in my life, but yeah, I would not prefer to talk it publicly. But yes, there was a really bad event with me, which made me realize, okay, now this is the time you need to keep your private and personal life completely different. Because I was just a normal kid who was playing PUBG.
Yeah,
I mean,
No, I
that
hear
is
that.
such.
Yeah.
Sorry. We all just wanted to get in on that and start talking and quickly mentioning something. I mean, it's such one of the big challenges for anyone who becomes a professional player is waking up to one day not only being someone who plays a game in their living room or in their bedroom, but actually being the voice of like thousands, sometimes millions of people, like in Scout's case, and having to switch from being someone who just plays games for fun and wanting to get better to suddenly being someone who represents a group of people is a really tough experience. And I think Scout is also, in a way, trying to become that person. He's very young still, but I think he's going to be one of the most important people in Indian esports in the coming years.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great sentiment there, Victor. I mean, it's no doubt that you're one of the biggest personalities within the scene in India, and you have expressed that you want to separate that professional to that personal life, but still, people want to know what you do in your everyday life. People want to know details about your personal life, and I have a very, very important question that came from Instagram. What is your favorite meal to eat? Can you reveal that?
We're asking the big questions now.
Yeah, so like right now I'm like not focusing on the eating part because I'm in a lockdown and I'm stuck in a different city right now. But yes, when I'm at home, I have my own diet plan what I follow to be fit and stuff. So I love fruits a lot, especially banana, then peanut butter and brown bread. I eat these three things a lot. So
It's a good
like it's
combination.
less. Yeah, yeah.
We could have asked, how do you create a diet that will make you win things? That is basically it. It's easy. If I could have guessed anything Scout eats on the daily, I would go exactly with those three things.
It's a pretty solid combo, to be honest.
It works breakfast, it works dinner, it works all the time, honestly.
I would only
Dessert.
substitute the brown bread for like a rice cracker or a rice cake. That's the way I like to do it. But this isn't about
Yeah,
me, this is about you, Scout.
Yeah, we can add. I sometimes add like boiled eggs and peanut butter. Yeah, it's fine. It does.
Boiled
Wow.
eggs and peanut butter.
With
Okay,
it,
I'm gonna have to
Voice
try
of a
that one.
winner. Voice of a winner, this. There you go, Phil. You should get on the Scout diet. You're going to become an incredibly successful PUBG player, I promise you.
It does sound
Alright,
like a
so-
solid protein load up.
Every shop is going to run out of peanut butter tomorrow. So after hearing this,
No. Don't break lockdown. It's very important. Everyone, don't
Yes.
rush to the store now. This should not be what this turns into.
What Victor said. Scout, I think I know the answer to this. Possibly know the answer to this, but another one of our 10 questions. If you could be anything for one day, what job would you have? And if you weren't a professional gamer, what would you like to do as your regular job, as work? So what's the dream if you could experience one sort of job for a day? What's the total dream job? And then I guess what do you think you would be doing if PUBG Mobile hadn't taken off for you?
So one dream what I have, I want to play for Madrid once in my entire life. Soccer game, a 90-minute proper soccer game. That's it. And what I would do when PUBG goes off is I would go to different games. I'm not only made for PUBG. I'm made for games. So yes, I would go for different games.
Maybe FIFA.
I would love FIFA, but I'm not that great at it.
Well, I think we need to pair you up with Tex and maybe get an exhibition match going on. What do you think, Victor? Do you think we can make that
I
happen?
mean, we have been talking about putting him on a one-on-one sniper against JW or Flesha. So we'll see when we get that going. He is a decent Counter-Strike player, so I shan't lie to you.
Scout, are you playing anything outside of PUBG at the moment? Like anything off stream or just for fun to chill out?
Yeah, I play COD and CS obviously, and I've been trying Valorant.
What do you think of Valorant, actually?
Yeah, what's the first impressions?
It's pretty good. Like, yeah, obviously you need to grind that game.
That's 5 out of 10.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah.
So
But I like
there's so much hype on this game.
No, that's good. Do you have any games? I've always wondered this. We usually just speak about business and like our PUBG life, but Counter-Strike is still a shooter. Call of Duty is still a shooter. What like do you do? Do you ever play like a single player game? Like, have you ever been a guy who plays like?
Yeah, I love to play single player games, but in single player games there are certain parts where you have to solve the puzzles. Till after that, I don't do it. I skip it. I don't do those parts. I just do the shooting parts.
Wait, actually, it's the same.
Oh, sorry. Go on, Pete.
Nemesis is exactly our League of Legends mid laner. Also has trouble solving puzzles in single player games. Like Tomb Raider, he was streaming a Tomb Raider, this game, the other day, and he just couldn't solve the first puzzle, and he gave up.
I can also see Scout becoming like really. He's like starting up a game, and it's like, here's a character creation screen that's going to take you 15 minutes, and you have to pick hair colors, and you have to pick your name, and he's like, nah, I don't have time. I'm going to go shoot something. That's like, watch out.
No, there was a really lovely game, Uncharted 4. I started playing that, and suddenly, with all the action comes a stupid puzzle. I'm like, dude, I'm not doing this. I'm skipping this part. Someone please do this for me. I'm not doing this.
That's good.
There should be a puzzle skip mode that the devs roll out where you can just toggle puzzles on or off.
That's really good.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next question. It says, roll back the tape to a time where PUBG was just released. Do you remember your thoughts then? Do you think you'd go pro? And did you have a plan for how you were going to do it?
So at the time when PUBG got released, I knew about the game because I used to play Counter-Strike, and there was a game called PUBG that came in PC. So I didn't have a good PC, so I couldn't afford to play PUBG at that time. So I used to travel like once in a week to go and play PUBG. So I used to play different variety of games, which was relatable to PUBG in mobile, because I didn't have a good PC though. So I always wanted to win those big leaderboards what we had in PUBG way back then. So it was just one leaderboard where you can climb up slowly. So yeah, I had that one goal at that time. Do I need to get in that leaderboard? Then later, from when I got into that leaderboard, I started making friends from different countries. They started telling me about tournaments, and then I entered the pro scene.
Wow, cool. Anybody?
Oh, that's me.
Well, no. I just think so. Next question on our 10 is, I think, probably best if it comes from Victor. So I've just been firing that over to him.
Yeah. Let me see. Let me look here. Oh yeah, this is a brilliant one. So Scout, if we go back in time slightly now, do you remember? Because this is something I get asked a lot in the DMs. Like people ask me, how do you become part of Fnatic? Like how do I actually get the attention of Fnatic? And once we started talking, do you actually remember when we started talking? Like, you know, the idea that you were Xpark at that time and then becoming Team Fnatic. Do you remember our first conversations and how you were feeling back then?
So yeah, we did talk on Discord.
Mm.
That was our first conversation out there. But yeah, I don't remember the actual things, but yes, I got really hyped up about Fnatic, and I was like, dude, I need to give everything up for getting into this team. We need to get this Fnatic tag anyhow. So we were like all out on that time.
I remember when we first started talking, I always start to be polite, whoever I speak to, and go like, "Hello, I'm Victor from Fnatic. Do you know about Fnatic?" And you were just like, "Yes, I know a lot about Fnatic." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, good." Now you had the esports down already. Did you feel instantly like, yeah, guys, this is the team we should be going for? Because I can imagine with the teams that were on there, to give some context for you, Phil, and for you, Pete, is that basically had formed a team where all of our players at that time like had a very good skill set, and they had been achieving things together in the scene, but not necessarily always in the same team, different teams, and now they were coming together. Do you remember thinking like, yeah, we're going with Fnatic? Was that an instant, or how did that come about?
So yeah, we actually, when we got picked up for Fnatic, that time I was like, that was our first official tournament playing together. So
Mm.
we had a very huge thing to prove. So either if we did good and get into Fnatic, or we are nowhere left to go.
Mm.
So yes, we had to give our best for that thing.
I think we all suddenly felt the pressure that we weren't expecting last fall. Like we were suddenly a team, and we were coming in with all of Fnatic. And I remember Fnatic being super excited because we were now moving in like big into India, and it was like, how is the Indian audience going to like invite us in, or is it going to be a tough one? And then obviously when we started playing together and started making cool content, and then eventually starting doing good games as well, I really think that we made something amazing happen in India over the past months.
I think we've got one final question from our Insta questions, and it's going to be an interesting one because kind of working at Fnatic, we all have our kind of specialist areas and our specialist games, but we keep an eye on all our players and everybody who's part of the team. So you've been on my radar a little bit, and you have a reputation for various different reasons for being an amazing player. But the question that we've been asked is, do you consider yourself a controversial player?
Yes, I do for some extent, because to be honest, I cannot stand if anything is being wrong in front of me. Yeah, if it's at my back, okay, I don't care. But yeah, if something is being done wrong, and obviously I won't be silent, or I won't be supporting that, and I will be raising voice now or in future. So yes,
I think it comes. Sorry.
yeah, sorry.
Do you
Yeah, I was saying
think
that obviously I would be raising voice against the wrong things, and yeah, some people don't like it, some people love it, some people stay neutral. It's up to them though.
So do you think maybe it's fairer to say that you're an outspoken player rather than controversial, because you're not doing it to deliberately get people annoyed or rile people up? You're being outspoken because, as you said, it's if you see something that you feel is wrong, you'll say it.
Yeah, you can say that.
I think it's also in a connection to when you go live, you become successful. A lot of people are going to start looking at you, and then either you want to stay true to yourself and be the person who speaks up and do your thing, and they really appreciate that. Like you have to be honest, and you have to be to the point when you're with the Indian fans and the gaming community there. Otherwise, they will quickly call bullshit on you. So
Yeah.
I think that's really important to learn, and I had to absolutely learn that when I started talking to you guys and we started working together. And as soon as this Corona thing is over and the COVID-19 is over, I'll be flying down and we'll have a big old party down in Mumbai. That's 100% sure.
Yeah, sure. Looking forward for
I
that.
want to come too.
Yes, Pete, you're invited.
I've never been to
Yeah.
India.
Can I get an invite, please?
Oh, Phil, that's how you get invited. Welcome.
Well,
Easy.
that's our 10 questions that we received. Scout, it's been genuinely great chatting to you. been great to have you on. Thank you for taking the time. I know it's a bit later where you are. Hopefully you'll come back on in future shows, or we'll do some more stuff with Fnatic Live. But genuinely been really great to get some insight from you into like who you are as a person, who you are as a player. So yes, can we get some Scout OP spam in chat, please, before the man himself leaves? But yes, it's been a pleasure, Scout. Thank you very much.
Great
Also,
to meet you, man.
absolutely. Yeah, always a great time to have a conversation with you, man. And we'll speak probably at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning when we start practicing again.
Yeah, sure.
That's not your 6 a.m. by the way, not your 6 a.m.